Yeah, I'm new to it. I don't think I ever smoked pot until I was 48.
What?
Yeah. And no, I did it in the Dominican Republic a little bit, but that barely counts. I went to Colorado and tried it for the first time last year.
Really?
Yeah, but I still like talking about it as a sponsor because there's other people like that I represent. I feel like I have customers who need to hear the rookie's perspective.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think we're perfect. I think we're perfect at selling that product because
you should.
You represent that like target audience that hadn't done it before and is like when you ate the leg and it got you high. I had so many people message me like, was Woody joking around? And I'm like, no. Like Woody's fucked up. He's like, all right, I'm ordering 2 bottles. I'm ordering 2 bottles. You sold a lot of it just because they were like, oh, okay, that's how it works.
I forgot I took
me and
it.
Taylor have tolerances.
Yeah.
You don't have the tolerance level like whatever drug. I did a lot of acid in prison. It takes me a lot of more acid to go tripping. And I love psychedelics. And I actually love them because they're coming out with a lot of stuff. MDMA is now curing PTSD. You can look at all the medical literature. They're actually, the University of Mississippi has the only Class A license from the federal government to test that stuff. Psilocybin.
How do I join that study?
I keep hearing psilocybin.
Yeah, I do too.
I keep hearing psilocybin is a cure for depression.
It's MDMA too. You're right. I take them both. They're really. I always like psychedelics. You can never overdose on them. You can't die. It doesn't bring your heart rate. Doesn't do anything.
Can you pause there? Literally never? Like one ever?
You cannot overdose on it.
Okay.
You can take as much as I had a buddy in prison. He went to prison for life for acid. And he had 30,000 tabs. He used to file the Grateful Dead around and stuff. And he had 100 hit vial, 100 hit break in his pocket. Sneaked it to his body. 100 hits. Now, I didn't say he wasn't tripping for a long time. In fact, he was so fucked up, he sold all his worldly possessions for a skateboard. Listen to this. A skateboard, 2 tickets to Jerry Garcia concert, and a skateboard, 2 tickets to something else, like a guitar or some shit. For his whole fucking goddamn, his furniture, his everything he fucking owned. I mean, he got that fucked up, but you won't overdose. It's not like heroin. You can,
right? You're not going to get hurt.
Die. Yeah.
Have you ever done meth? I've been watching Breaking Bad.
I've done pretty much every drug. I'm trying to think one I haven't.
What effect does meth have on you? Because I can't tell by watching Breaking Bad.
Okay, have you done coke?
No.
Okay, if you do coke and meth, they're kind of alike, but meth lasts a lot longer.
So is it like an Adderall almost, where you're just in a sort of good mood, hyper?
Yeah. It depends on, again, anybody knows. I actually, when I speak around the country on drugs, I tell them, listen, you control it. Don't let it control you. Drugs is a personal choice. Now, if you commit a crime for it, go to jail. If you go rob something for it, go to jail. But what you do in your own home, I don't care what you do. You're not hurting anybody else. If they shouldn't give you something. Oh, you're disabled because you're a fucking drug. Well, that's your problem. You did it. That's it. Mm-hmm. But in all the drugs, you control it. Don't let it control you. I was very, I guess you call it lucky how you do it. I don't have that addictive personality where you do one thing. I've done heroin. People, don't do heroin. You're gonna fucking do heroin. I never shot it. I snorted it. Oh, you're gonna get addicted. No, you do not. You do not. It's like any other.
Careful with that, though, because some people do. Heroin's the scariest one to me, and all the opioids, right? Even the ones they prescribe and such, because I've just observed good people who had their shit together lose their shit. It didn't happen to you. I follow, but
watch this one. You'll like this. I got 15 vertebrae done in my back. 15, all crushed right now. Zipper from my back to front. I took 180 milligrams of oxycodone, which is 6 30-milligram pills, every single day for 11 years. Nobody's ever seen me high on them. I got off them on my own and my doctor buddies. Actually, one of my friends is the biggest pot doctor in the state and one of the biggest in the country. His name's Frank Filiberto. He's a doctor. He's classes in Cal. He's one of these pot. And he's also an ENT surgeon and a plastic surgeon. I mean, the guy's 70 years old. He's fucking a genius. But He says, Larry, you never see a high because you have all these pain receptors. How opioids work is that they go through your body and they attach to pain receptors, throbbing of pain wherever it's at, and it'll dull the pain. It never cures it, but it dulls it so you can get by. What happens is I had so much of it, that's why it can never get to the endorphins in your brain. When an athlete or you or somebody breaks their arm, they take an opioid and it works. But when no more pain and it's not through your body, you still take it like they tell you, and then it goes through your system and it gets to the endorphins. Eventually, endorphins want it, and that's how the addiction comes about. But if it doesn't get to the endorphins, you can't do that. It won't make you addicted. Now, mine did physically, but I weaned off them. I went from 6 pills a day. I did that for 3 weeks or a month, and then 5, and then 5. And on my birthday, I think this year will be 2 or 3 years. This October 3rd is my birthday. I never took one. I mean, it just, again, I'll smoke weed, I'll do other things, but I do things when I want, not because I have to. If I have to do a show or if I have to go on TV, NBC, like I get a call for a lot of robberies for network TV. You don't want to go there fucked up, and I'm not gonna, I was with Cheech and Chong on fucking Fox News with fucking the Huckabee show, and Tommy Chong is fucking hammered. How he fucking functioned, like Kyle said, weed affects me worse than those drugs. I mean, I'm talking about if I took my gummy or something like that. I'm not talking about taking a couple of hits to mellow out. I'm talking about, take one of those gummies. I just took 2 gummies. They're 20 milligrams. That's good for me to go to sleep in about 2 hours. You know what I mean? 2.5 hours.
Is there anywhere where LSD is legal?
I know mushrooms is now legal in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, but I hate mushrooms.
Zach says Oregon.
Why do you hate mushrooms, Kyle?
It's like they like bum me out. It's like you've got the kind of this like happiness, like, and then when you use all your happy juice, and then you like have this sort of like afterwards, it's just like, oh, now I'm kind of bummed out. I like used all my happy juice. Now,
when did they bum you out? I want to ask
afterwards, like. So
you enjoy the high,
afterwards.
and then kind of the hangover is being bummed out.
Yeah, like once you've had your fun, it's like, oh man, I'm real bummed out, and I'm trying to put my finger on what's bumming me out, and I can't. It just feels like I'm in a pit of despair that I manufactured with this silly drug that only made me giggly for a little while. Meanwhile, LSD is way cheaper. You don't have to power through disgusting mushrooms. You can just put like 3 or 4 tabs on your tongue and you're done, and you don't even taste it. It's just paper. And you do a dozen hours of silly, giggly, look at the walls pulse and breathe and melt. That's cool. Let's watch some fun movies. Oh, Fantasia. I just remember the other day what Dirty was afraid of when we were like watching Fantasia. He freaked out. We had to pause the movie. Big projector screen, dark room, the 5 of us all chilling out. It sounds a little gay, but it was just a great bonding experience. We're all on LSD. And Dirty, bless his little heart, he's like, stop the TV, it's scary. He's like curling up in a ball, and I'm like, oh shit, stop it. I'm like, what is it, buddy? Show me the scary man. Who's scaring you? And it's Mickey fucking Mouse. It's Mickey fucking Mouse.
Did he have a bad trip?
No, he's just being a big baby.
Okay. I actually was with he's right. Acid lasts longer. That's what only difference I really find out.
How long does it take to hit?
And I do mushrooms differently.
An hour.
If you do mushrooms
an hour and like maybe 30 minutes. It's one of those things where like maybe 30 minutes in, I'm feeling it, and then by an hour, it's like, oh, it's real now. And
even that's slower than I would. It's hard to dose if it takes 30 to 60 minutes to hit.
I'll tell you, this is what I felt about it though, like because I was scared of the dosage. I took the 1 hit at 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. came along, and I felt tremendous. And I was like, am I peaking? And they're like, yeah, more or less. And I'm like, oh, I definitely want another one. Give me one more. And that one hit, and I'm like, oh. This is one of those rare moments where twice as much is twice as good. You know, there's with alcohol, you're always chasing that perfectly buzzed little in between moment where you're sociable, but you're not wobbly on your feet. You want to be not between those, right?
Afterwards, right?
It's hard to stay in that zone with alcohol, but with LSD, it was perfect. It's like, oh, I want as much as I can get. How much?
But you've done LSD that one trip, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't know if you got lucky or if this is a normal if LSD's always like that.
It's how everyone else felt as well, except for the one guy who was like, he was I love you to death, dirty, but he was being like white girl with a Zima drunk. Like
everybody can everybody tries to chase their best high or whatever it is in life.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was I did four hits of acid, good shit, and I floated out of Atlanta, and I literally was looking down at the prison. I was literally fucking floating. I swear to my children I was floating. Of course I wasn't.
Yeah,
but that's the high I try to chase, and it's hard to get to that. And of course, you don't want to go because where's the next level? You say to yourself or whatever it is. But I found that like it takes me more with acid, like he said, if the more depending on the person, how much they take. I've learned that if you ever heard of DMT.
Oh yeah, I really want to do DMT.
None of us have tried that.
I love DMT.
I don't want to break a bunch of laws doing it though.
DMT is one of the greats. I love DMT. Now there's DMT is, if you ever heard of ayahuasca.
Of course, yeah.
That's what it's really like. It's only an intense high for about 30 minutes. So you could understand yourself now. Like you said,
we're pretty familiar with DMT around here. We've got we were all on a call like this once with some of our viewers, and one guy went on a whole DMT trip right in front of us. Like he took 3 big hits back to back to back, and we got to see him, and he described what he was seeing with his eyes closed, and it was really interesting. So I think, would you guys do it? Like let's legal ramifications aside. Let's say they legalized it, and you could go down to the gas station and you get a bar like this, and it's DMT. And would you hit that?
You mean like
it kind of scares
like
me.
It looks like pot.
It looks. Like
I've seen it in vapes like this, and I've seen people also smoke it out of oil pipes, which for the uninitiated is like a crack pipe. It got the gold.
Someone told me that's DMT.
Maybe. I don't know what you got.
Kyle, to answer your question, since you asked, I would do it if I could find a reliable tour guide. Right? That's what I'd be looking. I need a subject matter expert to help me on doses, to understand my goals.
Analytical.
And
the answer everywhere. The answer everywhere.
Woody, what you're saying is right. Let me tell you I just came from Colorado. I was there and I went to Red Rocks. I went to a Denver game, a Colorado Rockies game, Frisco. And I was with a couple of psychologists, that were in there, and they want to do the psilocybin, and they've gone and they want to do the acid and the DMT because they say they are now reading enough literature about it that they want to at least experience before they tell somebody how to do it, what to do. So what you're saying is like normal for people. I'm a risk taker, obviously. I've been a risk taker my whole fucking life. I mean, you don't go rob and fucking do everything I did in my life. Mm-hmm. So I don't look at drugs. I look at, listen. At my age, if I dropped dead today, I had a fucking craziest life in the world. It is what it is. But I jump at those things. I want, like Kyle said, he wanted to try that, want to do it, experience. I'm one of those people. As long as I always say one thing, and I've been around a guy with a bad trip. I've been there, and they're never that bad. In other words, they fucking, it's over. 6 hours on acid. He'll tell you that. Kyle will tell you. But Kyle didn't tell you the best thing to do on acid is when you're coming down. Jack off. Because
I had a flight.
Why didn't you tell me?
No, Woody. Why? And I used to do it 2 or 3 times because it's a nerve drug. So it feels like your whole fucking body is coming out of you. Now you can't do it when you're peaking. Obviously, it's like most drugs. At least I couldn't. But when you're coming down, it was like another high. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, whatever you want to call it.
I'll beat one out next time I'm here.
Yeah, on the way down.
Did Zach write that in Oakland you can smoke the shit legal? I'd rather just not go to Oakland. Fuck that shit.
I don't know.
I saw some footage.
What you should do is just
it looks
be
like
around
Uganda.
Somebody that you trust.
Yeah.
And a safe environment, like your office or like here we do whatever. Be somewhere everybody's comfortable. Everybody knows that everybody's safe. There's nobody that's important because that's a little shit that gets into your head.
Yeah. I mean, I only have the only experience I have with DMT is watching the guy in our hangout smoke it, and he vomited. So
like a little.
The first time he had a great experience.
That's true.
And then he back to backed it, and that's when he had the bad experience.
Yeah, and also
that was probably because of too much in a short amount of time, right?
Well, also Dirty told him that he was on fire.
That was mean.
Again, DMT.
Like
when you pull a DMT, it depends. The best is taking it hold it for 3 seconds. Take a 3-second pull, hold for 3 seconds. Do it. If you do up to 3, I mean, some people like myself that are a little big and they just move, they might take 5, and it takes you to a place Like you really are fucking, like you'll go through a tunnel, you know, I always tell people, you want to go speak to fucking Jesus? I don't know who the fuck he is, but there's a guy out there, you know, talking. Or a Martian or
out there you can go talk.
Do you see another person there when you?
I have. I saw. I mean, I thought I was literally fucking talking to fucking an alien or spaceman. You know, man.
What did he say?
I don't fucking remember now. I was so fucked up.
Damn, you really should have written that shit down.
Did I tell you
that's been important?
I couldn't write. Are you kidding me?
Did I tell you guys about
all the drugs I did in my life? That DMT, or like he said, LSD, acid or microdots, same kind of class of drugs, which is mescaline. It was I'm on psychotropics. I love psychotropics because if you listen and you start reading about psychotropics, Einstein, some of your fucking greatest artists, your great band people who wrote the greatest songs were doing all tripping and a lot of them, because it opens up. It's an amazing drug. If you never try it, I never push drugs on people ever. That's a personal choice. But if it's in your head to try it, go with two things I've been around a couple of guys with bad trips. And here's what they do. They fight it. They think they can control it. They want to fight it. And they have that bad trip. Let the fucking thing hit you, man. Don't give a fuck what happens. It's kind of like love, fuck, you know, get laid. Fuck, you know what I mean? Just let it hit you.
If you're
you'll see your mind.
Probably not something for
you.
You
won't lose your mind.
Tight.
You know what you do.
If you're at all tense, like see, that would, like, I feel like I would do it, or I'd be right about to do it and be like, am I tense? Am I stressed? I'm probably stressed about something. Something's stressing me out. Something's like,
I can tell you that. Do any of you guys get paranoid?
No, I
not with smoking weed at all. No.
If you don't get paranoid, if you don't have that paranoid bug, some people do.
Yeah, no.
Those are the people who are more apt, and I don't know why, but it's always everybody I've seen. It's the guy that's like, "Did you hear that? They're coming. What the fuck are you talking? Take another hit." But you know,